Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it. This is Samson to Liberian Public Radio. But I want to bring your attention to a show that I'm going to be having tonight. It's going to be very interesting. I'm encouraging all of you, those of you that are listening to this video, to tune in tonight, because perhaps this might be some of the reason why we have all of the mess that is going on in our own country. Because you have to listen to these things. These things, the trouble we've been having in Liberia didn't start overnight. These are things that's been happening from time to time. There are those who came before us, past generation, failed to recognize these things, and will continue to repeat them. And because we ourselves have not yet able to recognize and see if these things can be rectified, so that this country, beautiful country of ours, can be built just by our hands as Liberian. Doesn't matter who you are at this point. Concord country, it doesn't even exist anymore. We're all one another. We're all one country, one people. But if we do not understand why these things are happening to us, we're most likely not going to be able to find solution. So I ask you tonight to join me.
Yet, how does one begin to help people who swim on their own flooded streets to voting booths to vote incompetent criminals back into office?
Yes, that is a big question we all have to answer. How do you help people who will go to the voting booth swimming in their own flooded streets just to vote people in offices who are incompetent? And those incompetent people that are being voted in offices will also appoint people who are also incompetent. So this is like a big deal. How do we help our brothers and sisters to make sure that their voting rights are utilized effectively? They have the voting cards. They must be told how important their voting cards are to all of us. And so I'm saying, those of us that have this platform, this is not time for hate. You don't come into this because you hate. You must do all you can to educate the voters themselves, how important their voting cards are. Because of their vote, our leaders be able to do what is right for our people. Join me this evening as I try to explore this particular question and many more that will be coming. Join me this evening at 8 Eastern Time, 5 Pacific, where we will take on this question and be able to see how much we can go. With your help, we, the Liberian people, will be able to educate our brothers and sisters that have the right to vote whoever they want, but they must do so with responsibility. This is Samson Toll, Liberian Public Radio. Thank you very much.
C'est au-dessus de moi, encore une autre fidèle qui l'Amérique n'a pas loupé. Quand il y a Sylvie, il a quoi qui j'ai loupé presse. L'Amérique n'a pas loupé. T'as mon bien de moi avec moi au Nde. En ce moment, on va battre au moins néo. Mon temps d'hier, t'as mon mouillé. On s'est battu pour moi, il pleure. Avec la locale.
Doing anything that people get to memory. And they were me from 2005 to date. We all doing anything. I've done something. Trust me. I'll be re-elected. You understand? So you don't need to fight. You don't need to destroy your country. You don't need to even condemn your country. You have to be inspired, peacefully, and then convince the people, persuade people. Politics is about persuasion. And it's about what you have done for your people. I have done so much that I don't need pay for. You know why I don't need pay for? Because Liberians love me and they promoted me when I was on a soccer page. You know what I'm saying? And they were proud to be Liberian when I was on the soccer page. And I've done my best for my country. I'm a former peace ambassador. It doesn't matter what people say. I'm on record.
Ìyàwó abẹ́lá lókè yóò níbi tó jọba yìí níbi tó yọba máa ti sì mọ̀ pé yóò mọ́nàjà jíjì wọ́n pè sàmẹ́ fọ́ sí o títí kọ́nẹ́ ti kọ́nẹ́. Adnibatel ṣoko yọ̀nská yà sẹ́ndé tó yé bi lọ́ máa tún fẹ́ fún mi vito àní tẹ́lẹ̀gbẹ́.
Henry, I can tell you the problem of this country with respect to prices, with respect to health, with respect to education, are largely tied to roads. There are no roads. You don't see opportunities where they should be when you don't have roads. From up to 173 years, we only have one road. How do you know what is happening in Bapolu when you don't have roads? You don't go there. The prices of goods, commodities on the market are high because to get them to where they are needed. So there's no way you can, when I talk about road, I'm not talking about putting road on the sidewalk in Monrovia, $50,000 road and make it $3 million. We're talking about roads that will open up the country. We're talking about roads that will open up opportunities, roads that will get businesses going, and dependency reduced because people believe their goods and commodities can get to the market. That's what we're talking about.
But we'll prosecute and will confiscate assets that people steal and acquire by illicit means. I often say that in Liberia, when people get caught, they send their wife, they send their children, they send their relatives, whatever, to come and beg. I'm saying the Liberian people, don't come and beg. You know, don't come and tell me, stand to help you get elected. You talk nice about you on the radio station. Now he's stealing, so forgive him. Stanley should have known when he was stealing that we're going to punish him. So there's going to be consequences. That's the first thing. Then we have to make sure we're paying people a living wage. So we did the arithmetic, we did the math in 2017 that when you look at policeman's salary or healthcare worker's salary or teacher's salary, by the middle of the month, the money finished. By the time they pay rent, they buy food, they pay the children to eat, and of course, they're not going to starve, right? So the policeman will pull you over, the teacher will accept bribe to change grades.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LeBron Public Radio this evening. Please share this video as much as you can. We appreciate it. Share, please. It's going to be a doozy one here tonight. Please share it if you can. And Bajoko on his side, I honor the weather. So my doctor said that Bajoko from Total I should be drinking no more water. No, on a very serious note, I want to thank all of you again this evening for tuning in to LeBron Pop Radio. Samson to here on the mic. Very shortly here, hopefully Mr. So will be back and then he can then continue with his own program as well. We're just filling in from time to time. But I want to thank all of you again tonight. Tonight's program, though, is going to be very interesting. I'm going to make around these political leaders. They will be making some comments and what have you. I have the recording, of course. I don't have the live on my show. I'm not as big as other platforms. I'm just a little guy here. But anyhow, they will be saying things, and I want you to listen to some of those things that are going to be coming out of their mouth here tonight. Anyhow, safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again for giving us the opportunity to be here to see this Friday. We pray that we'll continue to see many more Fridays come. My Lord, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for your blessing. We want to thank you for your protection. My Lord, there is violence now being attributed to the campaign, election, and what have you, but I still believe in you, and I still trust that you will guide the Republic of Liberia and its people. My Lord, as we come to you again tonight, for those who's been hurt, because of the campaign, died because of the campaign, we put their soul in your hand as well. And we ask that you come and protect and bring solace to the family. Lord, we ask you to do what you can for us. Continue to guide us, because this is the process that is very hectic for many of us. And we ask that only through you things are possible. For that reason, we'll come to you and continue to beg you, and praise you, and pray to you, so that our brothers and sisters, including ourselves, will always be protected. We ask you tonight to bless the leaders of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leadership of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the opposition of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the country of the Republic of Liberia. My Lord, the brothers and sisters that have been hurt, that passed because of campaign, we sympathize with sedition all over the world, and we ask that those who have come before you, my Lord, that their soul has been blessed and be protected as well. With that we say, bless the host country of the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. So let's go on here tonight program. We'll be here for a while. I'm not too sure how long, because I'm on the weather, to be honest with you. So, but anyhow, We'll do our best here. We'll do our best. So tonight, we're going to be asking many questions here. The political season is on. The campaign is happening. The politicians themselves are making political speeches and what have you. And the point that I'm trying to make here tonight is who's saying what and what are their statements jiving with the voters themselves. I know we're here in the diaspora, so many of us don't have the opportunity to weigh in terms of casting vote, but we're still Liberian. We're hoping that they will cast a good vote so that our lives as Liberian will be better because of their vote. And this is what I've always explained to them. So let's go straight into politics. As usual, sedition, they will question Unity Party, specifically Ambassador Bakai. What have you done within the last 12 years when you people were in power? Very interesting. You know, not only I am, not because I am admire Ambassador Bakai, but I've been one of those who are very critical of Madam Salif. But I thought the video that I'm going to be playing here tonight, if you watch it, you will see why these people should be way on top. Way on top. See some of those videos, see some of these buildings. And now you have people walking in the street of Monrovia as though nothing has happened, where they took us from, including Ambassador Bakai. So I thought that I went deep inside and did some research, and fortunately for me, somebody posted something on Facebook and I grabbed it and tried to dissect it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Madam Salif, before leaving office, she made sure that she documents most of her success. Most of the success she and Ambassador Bakai have done, she documented those things and made it into a video. Now, the question is, why is this video not being played as much? It should be the household name for now from Unity Party. But because of the disorganizing process and the fact that they are completely not united, disunity among them, they are unable to put these things together and utilize it to the best. To the best. Because you can't, on one hand, you say Ambassador Bakai been in office for 12 years, have done nothing, but that you praise President Salih for her work and try to disassociate her work, the good work from that of Ambassador Bakai, that will not fly. And if I were among these people, that won't fly. I would be singing this song every day. And then we'll show the video of what things were when they came to power. And then I will also show you the video, some of the things they have done according to Madam Salif with documentary evidence to show what she's talking about. And what I did myself, I went around, did some research, and found a nice photo of Madam Salif and Ambassador Bakai, and put that in there and shove it whatever way that I can shove it, because it's Ambassador Bakai should also take credit for that. It's not just Madam Salif. So I took Ambassador Bakai and Madam Salif picture and shove it in there, whichever way, what area that I think it fit, I put it there. Because this is something that I believe Ambassador Bakai deserves credit as well. So the video itself is not that long. In total is about 10 minutes, but because I split them up, and I'll come back after the first segment is done. I will come back, and then we'll do the second segment. Then I'll come back and start playing the video of Honorable Cummings, Ambassador Bakai, and Vice President Taylor. I will play those videos for you tonight, and they are very short. And hopefully, I will be joined by the analyst, and we will be. I'm not too sure what is happening on my program. I'm not too sure what is happening in the last 2 days, but we're working on it. It goes from my end. I'm not too sure about you, but from my end, it goes off and by. So I'm not too sure what is happening, but we'll do our best. We'll do our best. So let me go ahead and play this video. The first one here. The first one here.
A nation largely reduced to rubbles as a result of many years of civil strife. Our economy collapsed, contracting to historical negative growth. An insurmountable debt burden of US 4.7 billion constrained the fiscal space to engender growth. Institutions were dysfunctional and integrity institutions virtually non-existent. We inherited a bloated civil service that paid an average US $15 a month and irregularly. The roads in our capital and other parts of the country were impassable. Due to destruction of our hydroelectric plant and transmission and distribution systems, there was no electricity grid. The people lacked access to basic social services. Schools, hospitals, and clinics were in ruins. Only a fraction of our children were in school and taught by unqualified volunteers. An estimated 51 doctors served a population of 4.5 million. The capital city's water and sanitation systems were destroyed. The state-owned University of Liberia was virtually closed, as were other institutions of higher learning.
So the question sedition will always ask, Madam Selina and Ambassador Baka, is what have you done within the last 12 years? What did you do? What are some of the things that you can show that you're effective? And I've been myself, sometimes I find myself when I'm frustrated, then I throw this to the Ambassador Baka face. What have you done? The people say you squander all that money. In fact, you also made that statement. But luckily for me, as I started looking around within the last 2-3 days, knowing that I'm going to be doing a show like this here tonight, I started looking around, and then God could have it. I'm a child of God. God help me, bless me all the time. Before I look, yes, the video right there, somebody posted it. And the question on a very serious note, of course, serious too, I am a child of God and I've always been blessed. But on a very serious note, why Unity Party and Ambassador Baka and his people, instead of wasting time on who doing what, wherever, who's whether president, we are in a ring or in that's not your business. Why you can't take this video and question sedition? You said this man have not done anything. What's about this? What's about that? What's about this? And Madam Sali was so good in organizing this video, making sure that her achievement, which is also tied to Ambassador Baka, by the way, we cannot divorce that from Ambassador Baka. You can't do that, because if you do that, then you will be intellectually dishonest, which, of course, I'm not going to go that far right now. I will go there later, but not now. So now let me play the video. Some of the things, the last 12 years before before President we are king of power, what are some of the things Ambassador Baka and the Salih administration did for our country? You just saw the video that I showed you. All of the border ratings buildings. The street of Monrovia was, even street in Town were better. And they were there for 12 years. You heard what he said. There was only, she told you, there was only 58 doctors for 4.5 million in Liberia. So basically there was nothing. And she and Ambassador Baka took that to the level where President we are and his people came in. Structure was there. I've been saying, oh, no structure, that's something. Oh, please, the structure. I believe now. But let me go ahead and play that video, and then we'll come back
And then I will play because I'm not going to be here long tonight because, like I said, I'm under the weather. So my doctor say I should continue with this King juice. Bajuko. Of course, I don't drink. God knows I don't drink. That's water. But that's my Bajuko. But anyhow, so I will go ahead and play this video. I want you to listen to this. It's about 6 minutes long. I want you to listen to this video. And then, yeah. Let's see if I number 9 and Walter Carter will be able to come on here tonight to ask what have Ambassador Baka done. Let's see. Let me play it, folks. Samson told LeBron Public Radio.
Yes, we have changed the situation and environment locally and internationally. We have changed the international image of a pariah state to one of recognition for an important role in regional and global matters. We kept the high level of civil servants, increased their salaries by over 600%, and paid them on time. We reconstructed our hydroelectric plant to provide electricity to the communities in Greater Monrovia. The expanding electricity grid has already brought power to 5 counties: Nimba, Grand Jide, Maryland, Montserrado, and Mount Kibi now enjoy grid electricity. We have secured funding to expand our electricity grid to Bomi, Bong, River G, and Grand Bassa counties for an additional 100,000 connection of homes and businesses. With over 800 kilometers of primary and tertiary roads constructed, our administration has completed more roads than all past administrations combined. Our primary road from Monrovia now reaches the Ghana-Guinea border. We have completed the Buchanan Highway, started works on the Fishtown-Harper Highway, and secured the resources for the paving of a highway from Banga, Bong County to Konya in Lofa County. We have also constructed primary bridges to replace the collapsed or aged ones and made significant progress on the pavement of streets and communities in the capital city, Monrovia. Today, the free port of Monrovia, which was closed to collapse in 2006, is now an International Shipping and Port Security ISPS certified port. The free port of Monrovia can now boast of a brand new marginal wharf of 600 meters long, as well as a new fuel unloading facility. Buchanan and Sino ports, once non-functional, are similarly under improvement. Our international airport, Roberts International Airport, will finally be up to standards with a repaved runway and a new terminal building to open mid-2018. We have constructed over 300 new schools and renovated hundreds of others. The 3 rural teacher training institutes are operational again and have trained over 6,000 professionals to replace unqualified volunteers. To address the dire need for quality education, we have renovated and renewed Tubman University in Maryland County, which serves as a regional institution of higher learning, and modified the learning facilities at the University of Liberia's Fendel campus. We have established 5 community colleges in Nimba, Lofa, Bomi, Grand Jide, and Grand Bassa counties. We have also instituted an innovative partnership with private institutions with support from international foundations. Over 2 million students are now enrolled in school, compared to 600,000 in 2006. We currently have 712 functioning health facilities, many with auxiliaries for preventive action, with additional certified by the reactivated WOT School of Medicine, we will have 298 medical doctors. We have renovated the JFK Referral Hospital in Monrovia, constructed a state-of-the-art hospital in the rural area at Tapita, and renovated and updated all county hospitals. Primary health care is free throughout the country. A first, an eye clinic established in partnership with the LV Prasad Eye Center of India with state-of-the-art service, is functional and has reportedly performed the first cornea transplant in West Africa. Our White Plains water treatment plant is back to pre-war status and providing 16 million gallons of piped water to residents in the capital city per day. Similar facilities are operational in Kakata, Buchanan, and Swedru, in Vonjima, Saniquili, and Robertsport. In the area of security, justice, and the rule of law, we have a new and professional army, and more than 7,000 police officers and other security personnel have been trained and deployed all across the country. Our efforts to decentralize so that government services are more accessible to our citizens has led us to build 15 service centers, one in every county, and dozens of courthouses in the various counties, including a state-of-the-art facility in Nimba County. Additionally, institutions such as the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Auditing Commission, and the Internal Audit Agency, just to name a few, have all been established and or strengthened to better protect our national resources. In spite of all the gains mentioned, perhaps the most important achievement has been the Liberian people's resolve to keep the peace. Freedom of speech and expression have been protected, and our
And the question CDC and Sedition will ask, what has Ambassador Bakar done? They keep asking, what has Ambassador Bakar done? And I say to them, I'm going to say it's going to be the play-by-play commentary from my end until the election is over. Now, you heard Madam Salih give us some chronological event or chronological in order of their successful play-by-play commentary. And so I submit to you that you cannot and you should not divorce the success of President Salih from that of Ambassador Bakar. You can't say the man was vice president, but he didn't do anything. Look what the woman just told us. I will play the other stuff, but in the meantime, let me bring in Terry here. Terry have just joined us this evening. Terry, good evening, and thank you for joining. My system is not quite up to par. I don't know what it is, but we're working on it. So, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. I said last night that we're going to be doing this. Within the last 3-4 days, I've been doing some serious looking, and as God could have it, I found this video. That was my first time seeing this video of Madam Salih telling people what she did before leaving office. But the only thing she did not do was to include Ambassador Bakar pictures in most of this stuff. So what I did was I went in and took her pictures. If it's standalone picture, I take and put she and Ambassador Bakar on everything. Every time I see her picture standalone, or she going to do some ribbon cutting and things like that, when she alone, I take it from that, put Ambassador Bakar and her on there. So, because they can't say she alone did the work. That's not true. So, then I decided to play this video. But I also have 3 other videos that I'm going to be doing here tonight. One is from Ambassador Bakar campaigning, the other ones from Cummings at the radio station, and the other interesting one from Vice President Taylor, where she asking Liberian to review their work, and they have done a lot, she said, and so they will give them the mandate based on what they have done. But before I continue with my video stuff, since I'm on the weather here, let me turn it over to you. What's on your plate? You're muted. You're muted.
Well, thank you for having me again tonight. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Friday to you, boss.
Yeah, I think you got a lot already on the plate to talk about, because when you outline all those things now, then we can know where we're ready, what our talking points are. But to be honest with you, going forward, there are a lot been happening as usual. The campaign, there are a lot been happening. I really enjoy Ambassador Booker. In the few days, he really came back. He came back like a real man who is ready to do the job. And that is what I've been talking about. That is what I wanted to see. And he's doing it. All right. So, and he is dispelling all the odds, all the contradictions, all the propaganda. He's dispelling it. And that is what I expected him to have done ever since. On the other hand, we see President Wiatu is trying to move, I heard, to the Bapolu area or whatsoever, or some further down into Bomi. So, but we have not received any full detailed information from that particular end. All right. But one of the problems that I already have with this government is the era of transparency, being able to allow the people to see what is going on in the government, step by step. What is the government doing? What have the government done with the money? Like, for example, this ministry was giving $80 million. Within that period of time, the period of 4 years or 5 years, this is what we did with all the monies that we have been collecting. One of the problems that create the speculations that make people to believe that the government is corrupt is when there is lack of transparency. Transparency is very vital for us, for any government to become efficient. Once the people can know and see what's happening, even when there is a mistake, you can be able to address it, and the people will know where the mistake is coming from. But you cannot just jump out and say, "Oh, we did this. We like Samuel 12. We supplying current to Ivory Coast. We doing this. We have brought in more. We have supplied more current than any other government." So when you say this kind of thing, we all know data. We all know information that we can look at and see how you did it. It creates skepticism. And when people go to back check these things and don't find the evidences, they think that your government is corrupt. So this, in my opinion, you have to be definite and you have to show data. You have to show evidence when you're telling us that this is what you have done for the Liberian people and how you got the job done. It's very important.
Thank you. And let me just go ahead and play, since that's a good landing point for me to play Marcel Baka video here. So just give me a few minutes while the video is playing. And folks will be back on the other end. I want people to listen to Ambassador Baka. And I also want you to observe his movement. Because people been telling us that he's in a wheelchair, he can't walk, he's sick, all that. Now you tell me the way he's gonna move, his demeanor, and you tell me as to whether this man is sick or not. Folks, let me play that.
We want to give you hope. God gave hope to you, but it put leadership in charge. And that leadership must be conscious of the need of the people. If that leadership is not conscious, it's all they're talking about, chartering planes, going around, singing, and taking your children, pushing them to Kush. What they want to do is to destroy you so their children can go to foreign schools. And we are saying, this is your country, this is where your life is. and we will be under obligation. I'm saying to all persons, when you come to JMB government, you better come with clean hands, because we're not going to allow people to steal people's money and live forever. You work, you earn, but it's to build the life of these people that stand there to put you in office. They are the ones giving you the job. When you vote for people, you're giving them a job. And I don't know whether people are now ashamed to steal from those people who are under you, who serve you. You take their per dime, you eat it. You take their salaries for yourself, you reduce. When you work, you want your salary to increase. But for your salary to, what if you are making $500 a month and you went to the bank and took loan? And you told the bank, I'm making $500, the bank said, all right, every month we take $200. And the president come and reduce our salary to $300. How are you going to pay that loan? How are you going to pay? How are you going to pay? This is a heartless move, and these are the kind of heartless people who want to remove. Don't take them for fun, because if you take them for fun, you're doing it to yourself. And when you are hurt, we are hurt. Because most of the people don't go to them, they come to us. Because when the big people build their houses, put their fences, you can't get there. They go to people who feel sorry for them. We don't want people to feel sorry for you. We want people to respect you. Respect you by what you do. We give you professions. You can work, get paid, and your children will say, yeah, our daddy has come, our mother has come. If you don't do that, come October 10, you're cheating yourself. You're not cheating me. You're cheating yourself. They can divide you the money today, but how long will that money go? When they give you money here, they give you money to people up country. So we are saying to you, we want those votes. Let those votes show and obligate us, and we'll prove to you that what they're telling you, that this is your life, is not your life. That this country can be better. This country can provide for everybody. We are in agriculture, we can provide food. Nobody in this country has been in agriculture that knows it better than I am here. And so, I want to say to you, Liberians, this is the last chance you have to rescue yourself. And we are here to help you rescue yourself. What we're here for, the rescue mission, is to give you hope, to say to you, put confidence in us. And in no time, you will see that your children are going to good schools. We're not going to allow any child from the elementary to the 12th grade to be in the street selling candy and things. Be in school. Go to school. Government will pay the teachers. We want good classrooms that our children will sit and be proud. We want competition. We want the children to be. I would like to go somewhere and they say this is a Liberian child that is doing so well. I do not understand the mind of the people where they think that everybody should be worshiping them. You don't need to worship me. You just need to prove that you're a Liberian, you want to learn. And so today we are here to talk to you. District 11, you elect a good legislator, you elect a good senator, and you put a president in place. These people, they will scrutinize the economy. Most of your money that's coming to the economy is not being reported. That's why our budget is always 600 billion and this. That budget will jump to more than $1 billion or so. But we know what's happening. We know where the money is going. And we will dig everything out. In no time you'll find out. These people don't mean country. These people don't love country. They don't love anybody. They just love themselves. Their salaries must be big. Their cars must be big. But you must run behind them for kicking change. We want to change it. We want to thank you. We have elsewhere to go, but I can assure you, I am only in this thing because I know it can happen, and I know it will happen, and I know you will support it. Thank you.
Good evening, Mike. How you doing?
Well, I'm good, Mr. To. How are you?
That man stay over there or that man gone now? I don't want to call it on my show tonight.
The man's here. He's here. But today, he was on yesterday. Actually, interviewing some motorcyclist leaders who were talking about some safety issues.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So how you doing, Terry? That's Mike Dan, who is a Liberal LPR bureau chief over there. He's joining us here this evening. Let me just take 1 or 2 minutes with him here. Mike, what's going on? What can you tell us this evening?
Well, things are okay. Political heats are on, or the heat is on. Campaign heat is on actually, and everybody making their point, ensuring that the voters elect them, even though it's just a one seat on a presidential level. But we have 20 political or 20 individuals that are vying for this one single seat. So as a result, there are lots of messages that have been coming from Boaka, for example, like we were just witnessing. Boaka have been saying that indeed the governance of the country has been so poorly conducted. So as such, there's a need to change the government of George Weah. And George Weah, on the other hand, his government has repeatedly stated that President Boaka and others squander opportunities. So many messages, Mr. Tu. I just returned from Ganta, just almost an hour and 30 minutes now. Just enter my house. So
Welcome back from Ganta.
yeah.
But I know you as a political guru as well. You've been your ears all over the place. Who do you think have the upper hand right now? If there was an election held today, who do you think perhaps Liberian people are gravitating towards right now?
What is difficult to determine, but when let's just look at the big two, the big two, they are the ruling party and that of Ambassador Joseph Nyuma Bwaka of the former ruling Unity Party. Uh, as a result, some of the two parties sometimes clash and sometimes leading to some bloody situation. So they are the two main candidates people are looking at here. For example, there have been several or opinion polls conducted here in Monterey County, and Joseph Newman Parker has always won almost 99% of the opinion polls conducted on radio.
Wow.
Unlike in 2017, when it was the other way around. Uh, now, current President Weah was leading almost every opinion poll then, but most of the polls that have been done or recent, they have been led by the former vice president. Even though uh, sometimes people question the fairness of it or the method being used, because sometimes they say yes, sometimes someone may call twice or thrice. So sometimes they question the method being used. But again, this is similar or radio polls that journalists across this country were conducting, including us. We also conducted similar poll, and it was actually lay on the side of current President George Weah. So again, sometimes on the other hand, at time a pool will be conducted. I mean, there was a pool, I call quote unquote a pool, which we did not get a source.
Okay. I think internet over there is not doing good right now. So Mike, can you hear me? No. Okay. He will come back. When he come
The
back.
internet is
Yeah.
just bad.
Yeah. But Terry, I just played a video, and then from what Mike is saying, and that's anytime you call home and have a conversation with some political uh, group who follow politics in Liberia, everybody keeps saying that. But my concern these pools and those that are calling. Okay, let me. He's back. Let him finish. Then we'll come back to discuss that.
Yeah, he
So
was saying something very important.
right. So go ahead, Mike. You're back.
Yeah, yeah. So sorry for the internet situation. Sometimes it's cracky at times. So like I was saying, the opinion poll that have been conducted so far is between the two. If it's not Joseph Human Walker, it is George Weah. Sometimes Kumi's coming number 3 spot. So, but the two hard runner or hard runners, they are Joseph Human Walker and that of
So let me
current
ask you
president.
this. Let me ask you this, Mike. We've been
Yeah,
here listening, sedition, and then even Unity Party will come and claim one,
yeah.
I call it one round victory. They're claiming first round victory. You think that's possible?
Well, it's difficult. It's not just easy because the Constitution of Liberia says that one should win 50% plus one vote as to be declared as winner. So over several years since 1997, there have been no election conducted, and then just a one round a victory being won by somebody. So it's difficult. Remember, just the previous election before this election, the first round was being led by the current president when it was 38%. Then Joseph Boakai was in 26, a little over 26% in the first round, and then it came to the runoff, and Ambassador George Weah top Joseph Boakai with 61 to 38%. So it's difficult to claim one round victory. The two of them actually they are doing the same. They are claiming, but statistically looking at it, it's not easy because, for example, the ANC has its own supporter. Tiawan Gonglo, for example, he has his own supporters in Nimba and other places. That the Manimba also has his own supporter. Even Simon Freeman will have his own supporter. So all of those 20 candidates somehow will get every little meat of the first round of votes. So it's difficult to get 50% plus one vote. If you do it mathematically, if for example the 2 a little over 2 million voters that register can vote, it means you need to get over 1 million or over 1.5 million votes, which is not just easy when it comes to the first round. So it's yes, sometimes it is tightest by politicians, but it's
So,
just
so,
not realistic.
so the fact that you're on the ground, and I will just ask you this, and perhaps take a leave because I know it's kind of late over there, and you're just coming from Ganta tonight, so you need to take your rest, of course. But we really appreciate you coming on LPR tonight. But just from your own perspective here, if this thing was to go second round, do you see what are the ANC or the ANC or how do you call it, Unity Party? If this thing was to go second round, say for example, if it's ANC going second round with President Weah, do you see a Unity Party supporting ANC and vice versa on the question? Do you see Unity Party? I mean ANC supporting Unity Party if they were to go second round with President Weah?
Well, I think so because remember they were all in a one marriage before quote unquote splitting came about. The CPP was then split into two parts. But with the local things, I think if at all, either Joseph Boakai go with Cummins, I mean with Joseph with Josh Weah in the second round, the way things are, I think Cummins will definitely support the opposition side. Vice versa, uh, again on the other side. But as for Joseph Newman Boakai, because the way things were because Kumi has always said that he's not a problem. The supporters of Ambassador Boakai, they are the problems. Again, it's difficult on the other side to say whether Mr. Boakai will support Mr. Cummins actually. But Mr. Cummins has said the opposition, the goal is to ensure that the incumbent president is no longer president.
I see.
And questions have been posted to him because one may say, why is it you are saying it on the other side, not saying the other side? Mr. Barker having said that, though he has said in time past that he will support us with opposition, but he's always claiming victory, like Ambassador Josh Weah.
I see. Okay, Mike. Is there anything else you want to talk about here before we take leave of you?
Well, I think all is on course as for now, even though there have been some escalation of violent activities that have been ongoing in some areas, electoral violence, quote unquote, that have been taking place recently in Nimba. A death was reported
Right.
in area called Vayengli, and investigations are still ongoing as to who was the cause of that fellow death. Because we saw a vehicle belonging to Senator Prince Johnson, he's supporting the Unity Party.
Right.
So a vehicle was burst into, and then yes, it was a bloody situation in that part of Nema actually. So even though one thing that I observed that is not been observed is that the National Elections Commission has a guideline that whenever a party intend to stage a wild rally, they should write the commission down ahead, and they should, and the guideline also states that no two political parties should schedule any meeting or any event at the same time and at the same venue and at the same time. But it seems to me that most of the political parties here, they are not actually being abiding by this clause that talk about that. So it's a serious problem. I think the NEC needs to look at it. And another issue that I observed recently, independently, was the replacement of some of the lost or damaged cards. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the lost cards, the
Right.
lost voter card. The process and the timing was short, and then the process was long. Yes, because you have to go to your electoral magistrate office in your county that you register, and then you will go, they will take you pay the money to LRA account, and here and there, and there were many people who spoke with, and they complained that the process was actually long, and it was giving them hard time.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, thank you very much. I hope that you will be able to join us from time to time. When you have something on your plate, please don't hesitate to join us whenever you see us on air and try to give us some information from home.
Yeah.
But we say thank you very much and say hi to the family for me. And when you see that man who now call my show, tell you I say hi.
Yeah, the man is here. He's doing good. There are a couple of interviews that line up. We're gonna be doing it. Yeah. You soon be he'll soon be back.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
particularly want to call it on my show.
yeah. Okay, Mr.
Okay.
Tool, take care. I mean,
Okay, Mark.
Thank
Collins,
you.
Thank
take
you,
care.
man.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take care.
Again, folks, that's Mike Dunn, LPR Liberal Bureau Chief, who's been doing a wonderful job. He's been doing that job for the last 6 or 7 years. Been doing a wonderful job over there in Liberia. But anyway, what do you make of, before we go to the video? What do you make of his statement? Some of the commentary in terms of Ambassador Bakai, who some, in most of the poll, according to him, it seems like Ambassador Bakai is taking the lead on those things. So, what do you make of it?
Yeah, these are things that we've been saying all along, and nothing that strange, actually. And I think as a reporting journalist, he did a very good job to, bring cite instances and give exact numbers, which is very good, the percentages and all that. And his overall analytical view on whether or not Ambassador Boyka or President Weah can be able to gain a one-round victory. That took me a little bit, because, like I said, with the factor of Prince Johnson not being in the race, because Prince Johnson have already gave most of the most of those people hard time. So with the factor of him not being in the race, there's a possibility of a one-round victory. There is a possibility, but whether if President Weah can boast of that, I doubt it. But in my mind, the Unity Party too cannot sit back and claim. That is why everybody is outside going. As a political leader, you have to have a positive mindset. You have to claim one-time victory. You can't be saying, "Oh, we'll go there and maybe we'll get one-round victory." If Charles Taylor got one-round victory, there's a possibility you can get one-round victory. No wonder why President Weah is claiming it, because he knows probably that Prince Johnson is not in a race. So who knows? Because of Prince Johnson not in a race, in a race for presidential candidate, there's a possibility that either JMB or President Weah can claim one round victory, but I doubt that President Weah will be able to claim that one-round victory. That is my position.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the video. Let me just play all of the video, and then we'll come back to it. Now the next video here will be VP Taylor, Ice King Liberian, to review their record and see what they can do about it. Let's listen to that.
Ask them to look at our track record, to look at the plans and the programs. Let's not pay attention to the noise. There's a small thing people usually say, I think the president says it himself, let them do the talking, we'll do the working. President Weah is working for a better Liberia. And I think for that reason, and this legacy he's setting, they say if the Christmas will be good, you'll see it from the chief. If the president has sat over the past 5 years, and all of the things we can talk about and boast about today, we are not done, then we have been difficult for us. But I think his legacy is strong enough. Let's take away the personalities. Let's look at the fact that he came into government at a critical point. He's carried the government, he's maintained it, he's expanded the opportunities.
All right. Let me play Honorable Cummings, and then we can discuss all three of the video.
Oh man, okay. We will look. What I say to people about auditing, right, is that we will let those agencies, they will follow the evidence. It is my job as president to make sure we got the right people in the LACC, in the GSC, in the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, in the General Auditing Commission, in the public procurement and concession, all those stuff. We make sure we got the right people. They got the right resources to do the job. the logistics, everything they need, and then we'll let them do their job. I'm not going to say to them, go and audit Oni robbers. But if the evidence leads to you, it leads to you. So if the evidence leads, wherever it leads, if it leads back to the Unity Party government, to Mrs. Sally, the former vice president, because you were in that government, it leads to Joe Weir. I'm not going to say, go audit Joe Weir. Go audit Samuel Tuya. Go audit. That's not my job. As the president, that's interfering in the process. These people will have the constitutional responsibility, will have the resources, will get the right people, and they will follow the evidence. So whoever it leads to, that's where it leads. We're not going to pick and choose. I'm not going to say, go audit Joe Weir. That's not my job. But the evidence leads to him, it leads to him. That's the way. Look, that's the way we should be governed in this country, by the way. Wait.
So that's coming. Let's start with Comey, and then we'll work backward to Ambassador Barker. What do you make of Comey's statement there?
Well, I think that was a smart answer Comey gave, but it was not genuine enough from my perspective, because he should have been definite. He should have been definite.
But which part of the comment that is not genuine enough for your satisfaction?
Well, like I said, he should have been definite. He should have addressed it directly. Will you audit this person? Will you audit Mr. Weir government? Will you audit this person? Yes, I will audit. You don't have to say the people who's going to be there, they don't want if the evidence lead. No, that is a smart way of wrapping around the question. You have to be definite. Like JMB said, that the outgoing government will be audited. All right? You have to be definite that, oh yeah, we're going to audit the government. We're going to even audit the Ellens government. We're going to audit the Boyka government. Ambassador Boyka said he got no corrupt record. We're going to audit him. Our government is going to audit him. That is the reason why you, as a president, you're going to put in well-advanced, educated people to work with the GSE to make sure that the audit not only pass regime, but also present regime, which involve your regime as well. So you can say, well, the people that are going to be there, they got to do their job, and because all the auditors, they are also working for you. They're working for you. They, you got to create a system as a leader that will involve everybody being audited. So the auditors are not going to be just selective to say, okay, you know what, we're going to look for the other people and we'll go to audit them. No, you got to have a definite, as a leader, you have to have a definite vision or definite purpose as to what you're going to do in auditing past and present government.
I see. Caller, can you call back, because I need to connect my stuff? So please call back. I believe that's Everett. Everett, call back, please. Okay. So all right, let's move on to Vice President Taylor comment, where she said the Liberian people will judge them based on their performance, and she believed that President Weir has done a lot, and President Weir records will prove for itself. What do you make of that?
Well, in my opinion, the Vice President is almost like, it's difficult to really explain what they have already done, because you don't, like I said, you don't have transparency. People cannot find what you have done on the website. People cannot see what you're doing. All right. So it makes it difficult for people to know whether if you are even done something. All right. People say, oh, the president have done this, the president have done that, the president have done the other. You saying it, where can we find it? All right. Where can we find the roads, the amount of roads that the president have done within 6 years? Where can we find it? All right. Where can we find the amount of hospitals, the amount of markets that he have built? And, how was these projects done? All right. That will qualify a budget of over $700 million being dispensed. Can the budget that have been raising, or maybe $500 million over the period of time, can you give us a justifiable calculation of how this money was spent, equivalent to what you have produced? The amount of money that you have in your budget over the period of 6 years, Can you tell us that all of what you have done can be equated to that amount of money that you raise in your budget? So you got to look at all these kind of things. You can't just say, oh, we did this, we did that, we did the other. What you have done, is it equated to what you have generated, or you have done little, less than what you have accumulated? So we got to balance all that. And if you look at the data, you will find out, if you look at the ratio, you will find out that the CDC-led government have not done much as compared to what they have achieved for themselves, what they have gathered. They have not done much as compared to what they have gathered. Like Darrell Didon was saying something the other day, that the Liberian people don't look at how much money going to the ministry of, going to the security sector.
Just give us some time. Let him finish, then I'll come to you. Go ahead.
So you don't look at the millions of dollars that run to the police, that run through all these ministries, and these ministries have to expend those monies over a certain budget period. So when that budget period elapses, there's a new budget coming up. They're not giving account on what they did with those millions of dollars that was expended for that particular budget year. So people don't look at that. They only look at the legislature, how much the legislature is getting. They only look at that, but we don't see the millions that go to this ministry that is unaccounted for every budget year. So these are some of the things that we're not understanding when the vice president says, oh, the president is doing this, the president is doing that. We're not understanding what you're doing. Because if you want us to know what you're doing, give us a place, give us a website, give us something, put something on the internet that we can go and fast track to know that you are already doing these things.
Okay. All right. Let me bring Evers in. Madam Kotu, I'm going to bring you in. If you're ready, please put your thumb up so I know you're ready for me to bring you in. Kotu, Bayaman. Okay, she's ready. All right. So, okay, here we go. All right, just hold on 1 minute. Evers, go ahead. We're listening to you.
Because let it see a lady go first. I'll wait for her. I'll go first.
Okay, all right, okay. Kotu, thanks for joining. We appreciate it. Since he said for you to go first, go ahead. What's on your plate? I've been playing a lot of video here, and the next one we're going to be discussing is the Ambassador Backup video campaign video that I've already played. We're going to be discussing that. But what's on your mind? What's on your plate?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see what all you were playing because I was taking long. My connection took long,
I've been having issue here with people connecting to this platform. I've been having a lot of text messages. We can't get on. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but maybe I'll try to straighten it up by Monday, hopefully. But I'm not getting anything at all, and I want to know I don't know what the deal is. But go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say hi to all of you and the people of Liberia, in whom I love so much, to whom rather. And I'm so glad that I'm in the midst of you guys to discuss the issue of Liberia. Did you say what was on my mind, right?
Yeah. What's on your plate?
Big, large amount of, I know that meal or whatever it is on my plate.
Okay.
But how be it, I'm here. I am the Papa's daughter, and what I'm here to propagate is the Juicer Human campaign, and that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to discuss. But however, any other issue come, we'll be able to address it. But I am here to talk to the people of Liberia. The people of Liberia, I'm here today to tell you guys that we have an issue on hand, and that is the election come October 10th. And there's a reason why we are having election. And the reason why we have an election is to either replace George Weah.
Hold on, Mr. George. When you're ready, just throw your thumb up. Then I will bring you in. You got to put your hand up because the only thing I can see is say, okay, all right. Just tell me, throw your thumb up, and I will bring you in if you're ready. I don't see the thumb yet. I want to see the eyes. So you're okay. Now I see. All right. Okay. Go ahead, madam. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's to.
Can you not hear me? Can you then do something about your audio? Because I
I'm
think
having problem with my audio.
no, Mr. Judge is pointing to his ears. I think he's having problem with the audio. Mr. Judge, can you hear me? No. Mr. Judge, can you hear us? Yeah. Okay, he can hear us. Okay, so let me take him out while we try to straighten him up. So where is he? Okay. All right, go ahead, madam. Why Mr. Judge is Mr. Judge, if you can hear, you got to go back out and come back in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, we either be willing to re-elect George Weah or to replace George Weah. And my thinking is to replace George Weah. We know the reason why, and I know the reason why we should be replacing George Weah. Over the period of almost 5 years plus, we have seen what our country have gone through. We have gone through a country that have retrogress instead of improving, and that we can say for fight. And the fight is, and when I want to go to it, I think on where the status of our country was during the early left government. And people come out to say, oh, development is been going on. But then what I do is sometimes we do the comparative analysis. You want to compare where you came from and where you're going. And for me, there where I do my analysis on and looking at what the present government have achieved prior to the early government, what early Johnson have achieved prior to they coming into government, and looking
One
at
man one man is not competent to.
I'm sorry, madam. Sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead. Mr. George, are you ready? Okay, Mr. George is still getting stuck. I'm trying to straighten him. Okay, go ahead, madam. Go ahead, finish up.
Yeah, we are saying a government have come to power that have made a lot of promises. We will create job for 1 million people. They have not been able to even create job for half of it or even 1/4 of the amount that was promised. And then they have not been able to acquire a project or even a company that will come to Liberia that will increase the workforce in Liberia. And you can see with the picture you showed there, that's just one of the pictorial evidence that we have, that instead of our people, our kids, to improve in life, what is happening to them is today they are deteriorating. And it is saddening to see these things. And there's a president that does not even care of what is going on with his citizens. Evidence to just.
Mr. George, can you hear us now? Can you hear us? No. Mr. George, bend your camera towards the ground a little bit. Okay, so you can hear us. All right. Okay, much better. Okay. Go ahead, Carter. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you even just to set an example on just this recent interview or this campaign rally they had in Bombing, with a statement he made to the campaign rally, really broke the camel's back for the last
He. We got too many he in the campaign.
broke the camel's back actually, because you're saying that
no, you said he made a statement. Who he?
George Weah.
Oh, okay. President Weah, you mean?
Yeah, President George Weah made a statement.
Okay.
When he met the people of Bombing. And one thing I want to.
Mr. Thor, I'm still waiting on the line. I thought it was more on the line unless you were on the show itself. Why I go to go ahead?
Well,
I'm watching the other fool.
Okay. All right, Carter, let me bring Evans in. Let him make a point. Then you get off the line, and then we can go ahead and go with it. Do you mind?
No problem.
All right, Evans, go ahead. Make it brief for us, please. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Mr. So, and hello to you and Terry and Pat George and Mrs. Palaya. Look, Mr. To, on the show, even though we know you support the old man, but sometimes try to push back on Terry a little bit. Let's not make this platform into another Spoon TV light. Let's have some pushback. This can be just a propaganda platform. But let me just say this: one of the things that Terry and Mrs. Balayan, I don't know if the Mrs. or Miss, which is the right title to use. Sorry if I'm mistaken. But if they're trying to use this whole, comparative analysis to compare 12 full years to 5.5 years of governance, I think that's a false analysis there. The reality is, I was asking on another platform, if you compare the we are, 6 years, so to speak, or almost 6 years, and the United Party 12 years, which one of them is the most corrupt? You know, and I said it simply, look, you have 12 full years with billions and billions of dollars coming in goodwill from the international community. When you look at the country at the time that the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf / Joseph Boyka administration left, how was the country looking? How were things in the country compared to to the 6 years that George Weah had so far? Most people, when they're doing comparative analysis, they're looking at they're looking at the totality of Ellen's term and looking at only half of or George Weah's first term, and they're comparing it. But it's not even close because Mr. Toe, if these people have billions of dollars coming into our country and they barely had anything to show for it after they left, the economy was in tatters. You look at the health system; it was a mess.
The Evans, hold on now, hold on, Evans. I just showed some video earlier, almost 15 minutes of the video where it shows what Madam Salif and Ambassador Barker did, and Madam Salif was able to outline all of the achievements. And you want to tell me that what I show here this evening was not true?
That's the point. That's the point that I'm making, Mr. Todd. That's the point I'm getting to. Those things are anecdotal. Those are little roles here and there. The same thing they're saying about President Weah. The point that I'm trying to make here is when you look at the quantity of monies that was received during Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, and the quantity and the quality of work that was left behind, it doesn't match with the amount of money that she had. That's the point that I'm making. For one example, look at the executive mansion. We know that whole scandal that happened to the executive mansion over the years. There was like $30 million that was allotted for the executive mansion that was never completed until George Weah came to power. We look at things that happened at Nukal. You have Robert Salif, who was taking bonuses. He and the former finance minister Amara Kone, who was taking bonuses only for that entity to go down in bankruptcy. And she said she take full responsibility of it. Joseph Boyka, being the wise old man, I will give him that he is. He came, the people can say you don't tell the full truth sometimes, but he came and said we squander opportunity. What he actually meant to say is we looted the country coffers when we were there. But he tried to put it, he tried to put it in
then you say I don't push back. Then you say I don't push back on Terry.
Don't push back on me. Don't push back on Terry next time. Don't push back on me.
See, you don't want to push back on me.
That's where I come
back on Terry. Okay, I agree. But thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Let me just finish up my thought. You get Terry all the time, and nobody was here to push back on you. Let me finish up my thought, please, if you permit me. So, when my final thoughts here is when we are doing analysis, we have to be fair. Other people know me; I'm a CDC sympathizer, but when I'm on another platform, yes, I'm a George Weah supporter, but I can also criticize them when it's appropriate. Okay. One of the things that I criticize them for, and I will say this on your platform, is that Roland Duo has no place in the politics of Liberia, just like Prince Johnson. And the same thing rationale that he uses to become senator from Nima County is the same rationale that the people of Nima used to elect Prince Johnson. Roland Duo said that he's a war hero. He fought war longer than Prince Johnson. As a matter of fact, he fought for 14 years. Prince Johnson only fought for 8 months and ran away. As a matter of fact, he defended the people of Nima County when he was with Charles Taylor. Look, we know the history of Liberia. Roland Duo decimated the Bandi people in Lofa County, in Foya district. He killed those people. He and Ziza Massa, Joseph Maza, they killed those people, committed war crimes in Lofa County. If Liberia was a sound country and President Weah was a serious president that we wish, we hope he would have been, he would have prosecuted all of those people who participated in that war, especially for war crimes that happened in that country. Roland Dewey was a prime example of a war criminal. And now he's vying on the CDC, which for me is an embarrassment that President Weah would even allow this man to run the CDC ticket. So I can criticize President Weah just as vehemently as I can criticize Joseph Boyka. For me, it is not that Joseph Boyka isn't a good man, he's not a statesman. The reality is we have certain concerns. And when we say these concerns, people think we're being mean to the old man, but let alone the people that surrounds him. Somebody said it, and I will leave this last sentence. They said, with the Weah government, you have inexperienced, corrupt people running the government. With Joseph Boyka, you will have experienced corrupt people coming back to the government. It's two sides of the same coin. But we would rather take somebody who is not tied to Prince Johnson getting his hand on that country rather than a man who is only a stone's throw away from Prince Johnson taking, power in Liberia by proxy. And we cannot allow that. That's why for me, I can't support Joseph Boyka under any circumstances as he is currently constituted with his vice president, Jeremiah Cole. No way. No
thank
how.
you.
But I'll leave it there. Thank you for taking my point.
Thank you.
Okay, let me end my point, because I was
Go ahead, make it brief because I want to go to Terry before I go to Mr. George.
Yeah.
About the video that he gave me his thought on the video because he's been waiting for a while. But go ahead, make a point.
Yeah, and I was saying that I'm glad that Elvis want us to make a comparative analysis. And when I make that's where I come in. When I'm making the analysis between the two of them, I compare the 5 to 6 years also. And looking at the 5 to 6 year with Ellen, comparing to what George Weah is far low, not even an inch that I can compare to what Ellen achieved. The state keeps saying the state at which the country was. Who is responsible for the state at which the country was that Weah came? If Weah came in, he felt that the country was not at this right path. What he would have done is to prosecute or to conduct an audit. He mentioned the executive mansion. To what level the executive mansion was done that now Weah is claiming glory? Have we gone to see what the level it was and what Weah made it to and what level it is now? And those are things that they should be coming out. Where Ellen left it and where we are talking from. So to just make this statement that the country, the state at which they left it at, who should go and be looking for money for we are led government? He should be a president enough to be able to advocate, to go out there, to lobby, to partnership with other countries to bring development in his country. Or he wanted to come and just set over glory of Ellen and just say, oh yeah, this is what I met to work with. No. That's why they chose him. The fact that he could have done these things. Go out there, make the case out there. Make your case out there and bring it to your country. Because for the matter of fact, that's why he was even elected, because they thought he had international contact. For his number of years of experience in the international scene, they were like, oh, when we get there, he able to talk to this Spanish, his football team. That was what people anticipated. But to their utmost surprise, they got a back kick of what we have today.
Thank you.
So I stop here for now and let's see.
Yeah, thank you. Let me, Mr. George, I'll come to you here, but I want Terry to, because he watched the video, it'll be unfair for me to ask you about the video. So let me just ask Terry. Terry, let's give me your thought on the Ambassador Boyka video that I played, his campaign video. First of all, does he look like somebody who's sick?
That is very laughable. You see, that is where Ambassador Boyka beat them to the core again. And that is what, I don't know who doing the propaganda machinery or who the propaganda mechanism is, but it is not working, because every time they raise an accusation about the old man step up to the plate and beat it off. They say the man going to take bypass treatment, he had was not right, he was sick, he came to America, he beat that out. Now, when the people saw him in Liberia, it rose his momentum because the deception of politics was destroyed. They come back again and say the old man sick. The old man, every now and then, they post all kind of things. So now they see the puppy mounting the podium and very energetic in his expression. He's not in a wheelchair. He's standing up and speaking. So again, it beat the propaganda, that propaganda that says that the puppy is sick. And they're still running with it. They still don't know that there is no more fuel in that particular engine. And that car has broken down long time. They need to park it somewhere. So the old man spoke very energetically with vigor that, look, I'm ready for this thing. I am the man for the job. I come to the job with the experience and I'm ready to do it. And you listen to him, he was definite. He was definite. He said, we are going to persecute. Somebody just come today. They were eating fuller bread and drinking tea with cut slipper. All of a sudden, within 6 years, they're building houses that are worth millions of dollars. How did they get this kind of money? You have to give account of these things. And that is what I believe Ambassador Boyka hit. Those points he made were very, very salient. And to Evis, I here on this platform have outlined some of Ambassador Boyka's shortcomings. If you follow me, you listen to me. I'm not just the guy who behind you singing your song throughout. I am going to checkmate you and tell you things that I know that have deficits, that there are deficits that you need to deal with. I was one of those who said that Ambassador Boyka is slow. And I told you here that President Weah, momentum in the campaign had kicked off. And Ambassador Boyka was down. I was one of the first guys that came and gave it out to President Weah. For that, I also said that I will advise that that if Ambassador Boyka wins these elections, he should buy Ambassador Weah idea wherein to pay wire fees. I support that 100%. So I'm not just a biased guy sitting down here and just singing Ambassador Boyka's song all day, like how people do with Ambassador Weah. No, I'm not the kind of guy. So it is true that I support the Ambassador Boyka, but when I see errors, I will highlight it. I even highlight Mr. Cummings, that I like Mr. Cummings' quick response, that he quick to respond on issues. I highlight those things. But I say, I want to close on this to say that I see Ambassador Boyka he revamped things that I really wanted to see him doing. That is what I saw him doing. When we saw President Weah went to bombing, Ambassador Boyka was smart enough. Like I said, they always make good decisions. Ambassador Boyka was smart enough to say, you know what, send that man in bombing, I will go to Truth FM. And he went to Truth FM, a renowned radio station in Liberia. He went there and he addressed the nation, and I thought that boosts his campaign morale. And from there, he went to district number 11, he went to district number 12, and then he was in district number 8. So I think he's on the rise, and he has to keep it up. He has to keep that momentum up, or else Ambassador Weah is still there with the popularity.
Thank you. Mr. George, thanks for joining us. I know it's a little bit late, but that's fine. You've been very, very busy as well. What's on your plate? I know we're going to be closing a very shortly, but what's on your plate?
No, I just wanted to add Dr. Collins.
Dr. Collins? I'm not Dr. Collins.
Because you asked him a question whether Honorable Boyka is sick. And he said outright, no, he's not sick. So I don't know. Can I sit down and say something to him not sick? How can I make
said the question was just by observing the way he's moving.
Even with that,
no.
That's why I'm asking.
He's entitled to it.
Is he a medical personnel?
No, he doesn't have to be. Does he have to be in order to offer his opinion?
Oh no, okay, that is opinion. I got no problem with it. But let me say something.
Yeah.
I listened to the video Honorable Boyka. Let me ask, let me just say this. When did he realize that people are making a whole lot of money today?
Who making a lot of money?
In that video. He said he referred to a job we are government that they are making a whole lot of money around big cars. And I'm asking, when did he realize that? When he was in the earning government 12 years, what was his salary? Did he reduce that money? It was not he riding the same old car that these people are riding today. And he come to question it. You can't have the cake and eat it. You serve for 12 years. You roll a car. Your office got $20 million. And today you want to question other people for the same thing? How do you reconcile that? Let me say this. He said the alien government.
Mr. George, my system is not working correct right now.
So because I talk now. Auto talk. Every time your system is working.
Oh.
When your systems are giving
Go ahead.
but then let me just give you a show some your system.
No, go ahead. Your hat right now. Go ahead.
You're not taking me. You're not taking me up. I will not lose my talk.
No.
He said the money that the government received, if it was him, Liberia would have been better today. What that says? That he knew there was corruption in the government, but he got all the benefit from that government. Now one day spoke against it, never rejected anything from that government. And now today he throwing the government under the bus. What does speak of him? You said the system was bad, but you didn't resign from that system. You got all the benefit from that system. When you out there, you say, oh, the system did not do much. But what were the benefit you are receiving? How can you square that out? That's not being honest. If our system is corrupt, you are not forced to stay there. There's nothing in the Constitution that the vice president cannot resign on his own volition if he's not certified. There's nothing that says that you cannot do it. But he come and throw everyone under the bus. Then at one point, you want to claim the glory that, oh, 12 years we build road. Oh, we did this. How can you want to have a cake and eat it? It cannot happen. So I want Honorable Boakai to explain to the Liberian people the salary that he received, his office received. Is that less than what you have an office receiving today? No. It's the same. So how can these people say to question the we are their government? You got all the immunity that government you got, and we are not getting today. And let me say this to another point. His vice president, the record, they can check it out. When Jeremiah Kun took over the Ways and Means Committee, his hospital was receiving $125,000. When he took all that money, went to $1.7 million in Nima, that particular hospital, and cut down the
hold on. Let me push back on this a little bit, Mr. George. Yeah. These has, and I'm not saying that's not true now.
It is your right. You can say it.
Okay. But what are the processes involved for some hospital to get money? Is it by Jeremiah Kun because he's a Ways and Means chairman? Can he assign certain dollar to his hospital or any hospital?
Samson, you sound ridiculous.
You
are chairman on a committee. You are chairman on a committee. You have an influence on that committee. If you don't know, let me tell you. Any committee you are signed.
That's what I want you to disabuse me on.
Any committee, you are the chairman on that committee, especially the Ways and Means. Any committee, you have an influence. That's why you are the chairman on that committee. You have an influence.
So you're saying that he was in cahoots with some other people that dispersed the money?
Hold on. Let me address it. Let me pose this question to you. The question is, when you were not on the Ways and Means, on that chairman on that committee, his private hospital, before turning it over to the government, was receiving $125,000. When he became chairman of that committee, that very clinic hospital went up to $1.2 million. Can you explain why that money went up to that under his watch, and why the Ganta Methodist Hospital was cut down?
So is the money coming from finance ministry or strictly from the House of Representatives?
The house, that was everything, the budget staff from the house.
So okay.
And the Senate, it goes to the Senate concur with it.
Okay.
The executive make the proposal, they send it to the house.
Okay.
The house.
So let's just go one by one. So the $1 million plus that went to his hospital derived from the executive, and the executive.
Listen, the executive can send a budget proposal. They can put what they want to add once they give the executive what they want. It's that's how it works in Liberia. So the question I want them to answer is, let him tell us how that money went from $125 million to $1.2 million. And why the referral hospital, the kind of money was reduced. Let it come out to explain these things. The only Liberian people. So let me just close on the note. Let me just restate what I want to know from the support of Joseph Boakai. Let it tell me the car he was riding. Let it tell me the $20 million that he received over the 12 years for that vice president office. Water is less.
Total $20 million or $20 million a year?
No, the 12 years.
Okay.
I think the first year it was 1.7 million. When Ebola came, they cut it down, then they step up. It's like the thing is on you go on the line, you see it there. So the question I want to ask, because he questioned Joe Weirden that they run big cars and big salaries. But when he was there, the salary was not reduced. At least Joe Weirden came the days of harmonization. So it brought it down some way. But to question them, that's why now I'm coming back to them. Let them answer that question. What was the salary that they were making at that time and compared to what Joel Howard Taylor taking today? What was the car he was riding? How much that car cost? And today, what Joel Howard Taylor is riding? How many staff he cut down from that office? And Joel Howard came and carried that staff up. Let me see. Let them put those numbers over. But if you cannot put those numbers over, then you cannot speak about corruption on George Weah.
Okay. Kato, you care to respond?
I care to.
Terry is back. Let me bring him on as well. Kato, you care to respond?
Yeah, I care to respond. I hear, him talking about comparing the Barker's budget at the time as to the budget of the present. I may not have the exact figure on here right now because I tried to get it, but the system, I don't know what happened today, but the system is kind of slow. But for me, I like to, when I want to discuss something, I like to,
slow.
I like to look at both figures, then I will make a statement on that. But going back to the state of why Jeremiah Cohn, increased the hospital that he built and not increasing the budget of the referral hospital. Well, again, that's where it is. Okay, if it was personally going to his pocket, then of course I will have serious observation of that.
At that time, it was under his
Mr. Joyce, he's on the floor.
I didn't talk when you're talking.
Go ahead, man.
It's that money was personally going to his pocket, or there's a man that built a hospital and say, okay, and turn it over to the government and say, here is the government. And then as the government, he did not take it and say, give it to me, that I built a hospital for me to benefit other. He said, put it in the budget so that the hospital can keep running. It was not a personal benefit. Okay? And this is why if I go back to it to say, okay, then the government gave me this money personally, then of course I have a serious reservation for that. But there's a man who said, okay, take the hospital. I do not want anything from you. And he's not taking a cent. Do you have any reason to say that he's taking a cent? Not a cent he's taking from the hospital. They are operating the hospital, and the government is one operating the hospital. It's not coming to him personally.
Okay.
I have no problem with that.
Mr. Toe, hold on.
Hold on, Mr. Joyce. You know the rule here. You're not stringing the
why
LPR.
you are talking like it's chance to talk. And what President and what VP said, he said people that got employed that were wearing slippers. Today he seen them billing fabulous billing 100,000 plus. Those were the things he was talking.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll come back to you.
Corruption, and that's why if you felt that government was corrupt, why didn't you audit? And
we'll come back to you. Thank you. We'll come back to you.
Yeah, let me just end the last one. He talks about why Prince Johnson will have control over President Baka. We see Ellen that he was working with, and he tried to force him to select somebody of her preference. The man stood there and said he can't do it. Other people had tried. What broke the CPP that want to turn his hand to do things? He said he can't do it. So this is not a man who is coming from in power to say, okay, Koto will just jump and say, Baka do this, and he just jump and do it without analyze it.
Okay.
That's what
Thank you.
I think he's wrong on that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Terry. You care, Mr. Collins? You care to make any comment on this? Or?
Yeah. I think Pop John looked very upset. But anyway, when the old man is leading the pools, it makes certain people like the ANC and all of that very angry, and they go off on everybody. And that is the amazing thing to me. You bringing in something that is totally outside of everything, and discussing about legislation that's supposed to be done, discussed in the heart, because one person cannot put money in their own budget. It have to be discussed. It have to be discussed, agreed, and passed by legislation. That is not Ambassador Boka's responsibility. So that I see to be very, very off, because Jeremiah Kun cannot say, okay, you know what? You put 100,000 in the budget for my hospital. No, it has to be it has to be discussed and agreed and legally approved.
Okay.
If it went through all those process, then it means that it was legally done, vetted, and proven. That was not done by Ambassador Boka. And Ambassador Boka, you said Ambassador Boka often received $20 million. For what? What did his office? This is the Vice President of the Republic office receiving the money. It is not money that going directly into his pocket. Can you prove that these monies were going directly into a pocket? Because when they're giving budget for the office of the VP, everything that those monies supposed to go for are online. Unlike corruption. He's referring to corruption when he made emphasis on people who came to government, never had nothing, but within the twinkling of an eye, what the salaries are, what's supposed to be given to them to run the offices, they accumulating more than what they were giving.
Let me go to Mr. George. Let me go to Mr. George to see if he had any addition. Then I'll open the line. Mr. George, please go ahead.
Let me say to Mr. Terry, I don't know the yardstick you use to determine whether I'm angry. I don't know that yardstick, but that is up to you. And let me say to Madam Cotto, I never spoke about Prince Johnson. So, a point of correction.
Where are you to know?
So, let me say this. Let me say this. And she spoke about breaking down the CPP.
In what context? To provide the context.
Honorable Boakat, it was under his watch, his leadership, that the CPP broke apart. And he and Benin Ayure could not lie on Mr. Cummings. We all watch it, the tapes are there, to create a case. We all know iota of truth in it. Could with the government. At the end of the day, AK was thrown out. So it was not Mr. Cummings that broke the CPP or Boakai and Benin Ayure, because they were afraid of a democratic process. That's what they were afraid of.
And they want to be a president of the Republic of Liberia, but they're afraid of the process.
Of course.
That will bring them to power.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why they left. And let me go back to Honorable Kun. The clinic was on his watch at that time. He later on turned the clinic over. And Madam Gota, let me tell you, go and do the research. The ambulance, he sold the ambulance to government. So go and do the research and come back and say, I'm lying. So, Mr. Terry, let me come back to you. You say the legislators don't put money in the budget for themselves. I don't know.
I didn't say that.
What did you say?
Well, we're not gonna litigate. We're not gonna.
No,
Mr. Judge. Mr. Judge, just make a statement. Terry, let him talk. Terry, let him talk. Mr. Judge, make a statement.
Let you go ahead.
If maybe you are not aware of it, but when you are a chairman of a committee, especially in Liberia, even yet, those days when they used to have what they call poke in this in the U.S., the poke, where senator representatives used to go and put in a project for the district. It was the Tea Party that came and cut it up. They used to call it the poke. It happened here. So the same thing happened.
That Tea Party that we the liberal cut that off.
You don't call it, no, that Republican, now Democrat believe in poke. So let me say this. When you are chairman of a committee, you have a greater influence to put things there that your colleague, because your colleague wants something, they can kind of, hey, do this for me, and you say do this. So that's what happened.
Okay.
When Honorable Kumo talk about the budget, he makes sure he influenced that for that clearly to get that money. And it was not that he had turned it over to government. It was not at that time, for the record.
Okay, thank you, folks. You got about 5 minutes to be making a phone call, and then I will have my colleagues to wrap it up for us. But let's go around the room here, Mr. George. Let me go back to you, Mr. George. What do you so far? How will you rate this standing of the three political heavyweights, Ambassador Bakai, Honorable Cummings, and President Weah? How will you rate them from what all that you've been reading, social media, all that you have talked to people back home, whatever way information that you have? How will you rate them?
I would say it is competitive, and let me say this: the crowd, Liberian politics, they don't based on crowd. I can give you instances. We saw Polydor Weah at the time with Delon. Massive crowd. Tamo Fala, massive crowd. We saw a defeat. So this crowd today in Liberia is a different kind of crowd. They are very recent. You see, all the political gathering is a seeing old crowd, people going, maybe people will not go, but seeing old people going to these rallies to get t-shirt, father, or what they call it, to pay their way or something like that. What I want to see, and the way the poll, they call it the poll in Liberia is conducted, I really don't have time for it. Because it's today.
Maybe because it's not in your favor. Maybe because it's not in your favor.
Listen, no leader in Liberia can be strong on everything. So if you want to conduct a genuine poll, it's a responsibility of the press. Ask a question. Who is strong on the economy? Who can you trust?
But according to Mike Down, who was on earlier, Mr. George, I'm sorry to interrupt, but he said every time that they bring the YC poll up, Ambassador Baka always leading.
Yes. Okay. But then he said it's not scientific, it's not reliable.
Yeah, well,
so
I'm just saying what
that one thing. The same Mike Down, I will listen to the program. The same Mike Down said it's not scientific.
Okay.
The same Mike Down said it says it's not scientific.
I give you that. Go ahead, make your point. Make your point.
I was following the program, so I just want to correct you there. There
we go. And you want to be, you look how serious you are tonight. And you want to be the police director of Honor Cummings. As soon as that one happens, I'm not going to Liberia. I will not be in Liberia.
I never have not told anybody I want to be police director.
I've been saying it.
I don't want to work for government. But what I'm saying here is that these polls are not scientific. And the question they ask, I want to see a question. Question is, who can you trust the economy when it comes to the economy? Who can you trust security with? Who you think can do a better job in healthcare?
Okay, let's get me those questions. What will be your answer? Very quick. What will be your answer?
What I'm saying here is, this is a competitive race.
Okay.
Or I can say, I cannot tell anybody right now that this person will win. No, it is competitive because people, the campaign in Liberia has changed. We got people who don't call the radio, who don't follow Facebook. But you got a certain group of people, like Mike said, so now one person called 3-4 times. So how can you trust those momentum? When the person went to bombing, they were crying, they were hacking him. Joseph Barker goes to their crowd, and it's not going to go to this crowd. So how can you say, hey, this person has a momentum?
Okay. All right. Let's forget momentum. Messaging. Who do you think, and I'll come to both of you with those two questions as well. Who do you think have a superior messaging system of all three heavyweight?
I would say Mr. Cummings has a superior messaging system.
Okay, thank you. Let me go to you, Kato. First question: who do you think have a better standing among the three heavyweights right now, and why?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Otto. And you see what people are not rational when they're making this kind of judgment, sometimes, and I don't want, people being biased, in a judgment. You're looking at the reality. And I always see by George, he talk about the silent voters and the people that are sitting there that are not calling. I have to say these people are just sitting there glued for ANC. Okay, they can go to other parties rally, but they don't go for ANC rally. They're just sitting there and waiting. I mean, we talk about passion where people care. Look at the rally with the UP rally. People coming there and taking their own money. Look at the purchasing of even the items. These are people who paying their own money. Unlike we are campaign, they are buying lappers and t-shirts for the people. And this is where we analyze when it came to we are those days.
Let me push back a little bit on that call too, because one thing I do know about CDC and sedition, they usually purchase even those that don't have the money, they usually purchase their own t-shirt.
It has not been like that this term. That's why I'm telling you now.
Okay.
This time around, it is the party that is providing. It is the president that is providing for the campaign. I have people on the ground telling me these lappers and things are given to them. In fact, besides the lapper and the thing, the campaign thing, they are giving money. Like for the lady in the market, I'm not going to mention people here in the marketplaces. They go to the market and give the market women money to show up and pay for these lappers. So these are things that we know for a fact.
Okay, go ahead. With the second question.
Yeah, hearing from the people on the ground tells me that the momentum is high for Joseph Yuma Boakai.
Okay.
And that's from what I gather from from back home.
Okay, second question. Messaging. Who has a superior messaging system?
Well, for now, the messaging system, I see for me, I would not say the UP have been back a little bit, or slack a little bit, except now that they're picking up. The messaging comes so many ways. It comes by billboard, it comes by flyers,
Whatever way you think it comes, who has a superior system?
The CDC started, but now I can see the UP picking up. But for the ANC, I see that the messaging system is very poor. So
okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting here today, folks.
Yeah. That's the reality.
Everybody support their own except the other people. Let me go.
But I make sure that the CDC were above it went ahead of the Unity Party, right? That's not
Okay. Terry, let's start with you. But let's start with the messaging system. Who has a stronger messaging system right now? Thanks, Tim. Make it brief so we can wrap it up.
Obviously, Ambassador Boakai takes the lead with the messaging. Like I said, when he went to that Truth FM there, he said a lot that really made sense and boost his momentum and put him in the lead. All right, because he said a whole lot of things. He talked about both the past, the present, and the future, which a leader to become the next president have to seriously address. And he did that on a 1 hour. And then again on the campaign tour, you see him speaking, and he's speaking vigorously, hitting all the major points and all the things that are going on in Liberia and telling you what he is going to do when he become president. And that is what you want to do. That is the kind of message you want to send. All right. And like I said, when Mr. Cummings spoke earlier, that video you played shortly when he went to Truth FM, I think in my mind, he was not definite, to say like the way Ambassador Boakai said, we're going to audit this, we're going to do this. He said, the people that are going to be employed, they're going to address it. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. You can't be, as a leader, you have to be definite. You have to hit the nail on the head. I believe Mr. Cummings has been very rigorous in his analysis, in his position. He has been speaking. But this time around on that Truth FM program, he was like leaning on one side. So because of that, he couldn't speak definitely. The comments that I know, he would come up, the way the fight was between he and President Weah previously is not like that. You can see that he's getting softer. like to say he's compromising to make President Weah to gain some upper hand. I do believe that Cummings could have spoken like the Cummings are new in that studio by saying, yes, we are going to audit the President Weah led government. We're going to audit Ellen government. We're going to do this. But he decided to put, to make it soft, to pretend as if to say it was not an important question. And the people that are going to employ, they're going to look into it. The journalists reiterated the question to see whether if you are going to be definite about it, and he still dodged it. And I think that was very late.
Okay, that's the Manchester system. What's about Superior? Superior, who's on top right now? You think from all indications, from your own reading, talking to people on the ground, who do you think have a good standing and why?
Yeah, like your reporter just said, that those are direct, that people on the ground who were directly involved into the electoral process, who have all the various information. This guy is giving you facts and statistics, and he even telling you what happened in 2017 elections. He explaining to you that during the 2017 elections, all the polls were in favor of President Weah, and President Weah became victorious. He's telling you now that these elections, 90%, I think he said 99% of all the polls conducted tell you that Ambassador Boyka is in the lead. So it would just be more bias for other people to sit and say, oh no, it's not this, it's not that, because the candidates are not, in a comfortable position as they thought they would have been. So obviously they can only hope that the voters that are undecided, which they don't know that is in oblivion, that might likely put them in the lead. That is the hope they have.
Okay. Okay.
I beg you.
Yeah, but I will come back. You guys gonna give me a close here, Mr. Joyce.
No. I don't want to step up. Just 1 minute. Mr. Terry, let me tell you. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but it sounds very ridiculous to say that Comey wants to lean towards George Weah. That is very ridiculous. You have no facts to that issue.
Okay. All right. Thank you for pointing. Okay. Well,
I'm just telling you. I just want to correct you.
On fact.
His opinion.
Well, he should not hear his
don't boil your blood. He said he's not speaking on facts.
But okay, but I'm speaking on facts.
Mr. Talking, I close now.
Hold on, guys. Let me get the guys off the line. Then you got, if you want to leave now, yeah, whoa. But let me get this guy off the line. Then we can close in 1 or 2 seconds each, please. Ambrose, please make it brief. We're way out of time. Ambrose, are you there? Ambrose, are you with me? Okay, Ambrose, are you there? Ambrose. Okay, Ambrose, it's saying so. Okay, cut to 1 second, 1 or 2 seconds, please. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. And I want to thank all of you, the panelists, for the time we have together. And I've just come not because I am a supporter of GNB, but to see, reason of supporting GNB. And I'm also extending my hand to Pa Josh. Pa Josh, join us. The train is big enough to accommodate all of you, the ANC group. And, I love Kumen. And the only thing right now, Kumen is not my first candidate right now. And I think what he could be doing now is to join him with GNB. And I see what you said, you're trying to say that I was talking about Ambassador Boyka broke the CPP. I'm not talking about breaking CPP. Now, I was saying he was able to make a judgment on his own.
Let us don't try to relitigate that.
As we close, I try to talk to our Liberian people. We know what our status are now and where it comes from Ellen's time to compare to this time. And let's make the decision so that our country will be better.
Thank you.
Boyka had laid up his analysis, the past, the future, the present, and the future. Let's look up to that and believe what he had to say. And I want to say thank you guys for being with you guys tonight, and good night, Baba. Have a pleasant day.
You too. Thank you. All right, Terry, make it brief for us. And then I like Mr. Judge closing. But what will be your closing? Maybe 1 minute the most.
Yeah. So obviously, I know that a lot is going on in the country, and I'm not on here to fight. We just want to express our views on how we analyze things, how we see it. I know that people who support you, if you support a candidate and sometimes blindly, you will be very, very, you don't want to see the truth and highlight it because you support the person blindly. These are some of the reasons why people who support President Weah is leading him down the pit. They don't tell him the truth. They don't tell him, say, President Weah, this way you're taking is not right. They don't do that. They just allow him to keep going. And we don't do that. For me, I will tell you the truth. I was on this live. I told you, I say, I don't like certain way that Ambassador Boyka is carrying on. That is just who I am. When I see errors, I will highlight it. That is why I'm independent.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. So in my mind, I think it was a great show, and I still stand with my opinion that what all I said on this platform is my view and not the view of the network. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Judge, close it for us.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
One minute the most.
And Mr. Terry. But let me say this. You can't just anybody cannot just come out and throw a statement and say, oh, that's my view or that's my thinking. And when you got no iota of truth and people cannot question you.
Mr. Judge, Mr.
You told me the one that Samson told.
Mr. Judge, hold on, but you can't do this and then try to get away with it.
You said I should do my closing, then you want to tell me
Mr. Judge, your statement what? You can't come here and say your opinions and we shouldn't, your opinions that you make. That's the person's opinion.
No, Samson told, but then if you say something, you got no proof. Again, you talk about number, you talk about 90%. What is the data to prove that? You don't have
then challenge it, then challenge the data, but don't challenge the opinion.
That's the thing that I'm talking about. You say, oh no, you can't say that. No, you can't
okay,
restrict that.
Go ahead.
Just like you say, entitled to view, I'm entitled to mine.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
No, don't. Oh, Terry, why are you leaving? Terry, why are you leaving? Go ahead, Mr. Josh. Go ahead.
Anyway. That will not happen. That liberal thing, you don't bring it around yet.
Oh, look at me. You ready? Don't bring out your liberal thing around here, he said.
Can't talk about
Eloy, you gotta win that Mr. Soul coming by here soon. That why you all bouncing all over the player tonight.
Oh yeah, so that I saw my man with all his girls in his car. I said he was taking him to the escort shot.
Yeah, I saw that too.
But let me say this: all what we do here, we'll do it in cordiality, in friendship, nothing personal. So I hope people should not think that, hey, this is it. But let me say this. I want to urge everybody in Liberia, especially the political leaders, to advise the partisan to refrain from the violence.
Yeah.
Because I heard someone got killed in Nima.
Yes.
This is not right. In Basel, they say one other group there taking everybody poster from the street and destroying it. That is not right. This thing is about exchange of ideas. Let us sell our idea to the Liberian people. If they buy into your idea, they will select your candidate. There's no need for us to be wasting each other's blood.
Right.
Until a 10 will come, Liberia will remain there. We'll still see one another. Samson, don't have a great weekend.
You too. We'll see you guys Monday. Thank you, Mr. Josh. Again, folks, Samson told Liberian Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again tonight. For some reason, my system is not serving me correct tonight. I mean, for the last 2 days, it has not served me well. But we're working on it, and hopefully things will move up here very shortly. I want to thank all of you for joining us tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I pray that you will definitely have it in Jesus' name. Let us continue to pray for one another, as Mr. Joyce stated here. Okay, let me bring him back.
You wanted to say something?
No. I was just hoping that you will stay while Mr. Josh was wrapping it up, but that's okay. We'll be back here Monday.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I was watching him talking.
Okay.
Sorry for that because
that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. No, we were just poking fun at each other. That's all. But we'll see you Monday, though. Thank you very much, Terry. I really appreciate your opinion and stuff like that. All right. Okay. So as I was saying, Let us continue to engage each other. And as Mr. George correctly stated here, these are ideas that we're fighting over. Please, this somebody, that person died, not that person not coming back. That person is never going. You're never going to see that person again. Why? Because of political issues. What is it to provoke you so much to take a life of another person based on what? Politics? It doesn't work. It's not good and doesn't work. So let us debate with the understanding that the next person you're debating, that person has the right to express their opinion freely. We'll continue to pray for the Republic of Liberia, and we'll put Liberia in God's hand. And all of you that are involved in these type of debate, we'll also pray for you, put you in God's hand, and that you will be guided by God as well. With that, I will say thank all of you tonight again. Thanks to all of you. And so who calling? Okay. All right, it's time for me to get out here because. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. And good night, folks.
Thank you.